I believe every person has a right to deepen their connection to the natural world and to feel a part of it. We all live in different circumstances, some of us having more access to wild areas than others, but there are ways to deepen one's connection to nature even if it seemingly feels distant to us. With that said, may you take from this video what works for you in your unique circumstances. Feeling a part of the natural world begins with reminding yourself that you are nature. And if you have never really considered yourself being a part of nature before, allow me to set the foundation for the times you want to remind yourself. As the universe has expanded, millions of stars have burned and exploded, flinging stardust everywhere. Some of that stardust gathered into the planet on which you now live. A planet where conditions are just so that starry stuff was able to turn into mitochondria. That starry stuff eventually turned into you. The death of stars gave birth to life. As you have lived your life, you have cried tears that were once salty seas. It's possible you have breathed the same air once breathed by woolly mammoths, or that your hair was once the carbon in a leaf. You are distantly related to the birds and the trees. You are a part of this interconnected web of life that is now upon the earth, of this endless cosmic changing. Perhaps John Muir said it best when he said, "When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe." These realizations that we're all made of stardust, that we're related to all of life on Earth, and that we are so deeply interconnected, it has the power to stop you in your tracks and elicit awe for the very fact that nature exists in the first place, let alone that you are nature too, because you have sprung forth from the earth just as all of nature has. Perhaps our intelligence as human beings has at times gotten in the way of feeling a part of the natural world, as we have used it to manipulate nature to the extent that it's no longer recognizable as nature. Perhaps this over-manipulation of nature has led to a feeling that we are separate from it, somehow above other life forms because we are capable of such creativity. But once you really view yourself as a part of nature, it changes your relationship with it. You start to feel less like humans have dominion over nature and more of a desire to have a reciprocal relationship with it. When you realize that you are a part of nature, it becomes clear that every human being is. Nature isn't just for the people we consider outdoorsy. It's not just for the people who live in the wilderness. Nature is for everyone, and we will feel more a part of the natural world if we devote time to being in it. It's important then to focus on the question, how do I enjoy spending time in nature? How do I enjoy connecting with the natural elements around me? Because we all enjoy time in nature in different ways. I think this is worth mentioning because we do have a tendency to compare ourselves to others. It's okay that some people enjoy rock climbing or climbing up mountains, and others enjoy a slow, contemplative walk in the park. In bringing up these questions, I am aware that some people may feel their access to nature is limited, and may feel unable to spend time in nature in the way they'd like to. So let me offer an idea that hopefully even someone living in an urban area can benefit from. Yes, nature is untouched and abundant in wild places, but nature is resilient and coexists with man-made environments as well. Rural and urban dwellers alike can get to know the plants and animals in their respective areas. Perhaps it just takes being intentional about finding more natural areas and noticing the nature that does surround you, and pausing to admire it and ask questions about it. You can learn the names of birds and plants, even the ones that you think are commonplace and not worth learning about. For human beings, taking the time to learn a name connotes a relationship. Even if in the end the name we give that plant or bird is arbitrary, it feels as though a sort of bond is formed when we learn it. When we see that plant or bird again, we feel we know it a little more than we used to. If you don't have any plant or bird identification books, there are various plant identification apps you can use. And for birds, I highly recommend the Merlin Bird ID app. You are able to record the sounds of birds, and the app will tell you what bird it is based on the sound. I also suggest using binoculars so that you can see and admire wildlife up close. Getting to know other life forms around me has deepened my relationship with the natural world and has helped me feel more connected to all of life on Earth, and I hope it can do the same for you. Whether you live in a more natural area or not, something that nearly everyone can do to feel more a part of the natural world is to consume it. We are heterotrophs after all, meaning we eat plants and animals to go on living. But unfortunately, many highly processed foods have become staples in many people's diets. And if we go back to the thought that humans sometimes manipulate nature to the extent it becomes unrecognizable as nature, highly processed foods are a perfect example of this. When we look at an Oreo cookie or fishy crackers, it is not evident that it came from something living. If these are the foods we are regularly consuming and feeding to our children, we may experience a disconnect from what food actually is, and also experience a lack of nutrition. You are a part of the natural world, and it makes sense that in order to feel like it, you need to consume minimally processed whole foods from the natural world. I'm not here to tell you never to eat another highly processed food ever again, but instead to encourage choosing to eat and absorb energy from nature as much as possible. Shop for organic plants, meat, eggs, dairy, etc. when possible, as many crops are sprayed with pesticides, and animals typically living on organic farms experience a better quality of life than factory-farmed animals. Consume plants that closely resemble their wild progenitors, such as blueberries, as they will be more nutritious. And to take this one step further, plan a foraging trip to your closest natural area to harvest berries yourself, which will allow you an opportunity to be an active participant in the natural world. As you do consume nature, rather than mindlessly eat, view the daily act of eating as an act of thanks. In order for this endless cosmic morphing and changing to continue, beings have to live and die, including the ones that support your life. Your physical body, too, will eventually morph and change into something else. But while you have this vessel for consciousness, may you give thanks for the beings that allow you to experience another day, whether it be prayer or the act of thanking the animal for its life. Coming up with rituals of thanks before we consume a meal can instill a deep sense of gratitude within us for having the chance to be a part of this circle of life. The topic of food can get a little political at times, so may I finish off by suggesting that we simply do our best, whatever that may be in our unique situations. May you remind yourself regularly just how unique your existence is, having been born from the ash of stars. May you take time to reflect and explore how you enjoy spending time in nature, and have fun trying out new hobbies. May you get to know the plants and animals around you, even in urban areas. And may you give thanks to the natural world for sustaining and supporting you throughout your life, and allowing you to have this experience of being human. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Karalynn, and my channel is all about deepening our connection to nature and rewilding for the health of humanity and the earth as a whole. The ideas that are presented in this video, I wanted them to feel as accessible as possible to as many people as possible, because going back to what I said in the start of the video, I do believe that every person living today has a right to deepen their connection to nature and to feel a part of the natural world if that is something that they desire. However, I'm interested to hear what your ideas are as to how we can feel more a part of the natural world, because as we progressively close ourselves off from nature, whether it just be by being inside most of the day, or whether it be being disconnected from our food sources and we don't really know where our food comes from, for example, because it's imported from who knows where, I think that it's important that we seek to feel a part of the natural world again. And so I would love to hear down in the comments what your ideas are and something that you might do to feel more a part of the natural world. So thank you in advance for sharing, and also thank you so much for the positive feedback on my last video. I got a few negative comments as well, but I guess that's to be expected when you're putting yourself out there on the internet. Everyone has their opinion. Thank you also very much for liking, commenting, subscribing, all of that. The support means a lot to me. I'm just a regular person putting myself out there. It's kind of scary, but I am grateful for the support that I have received thus far, and I hope that this channel can be mutually beneficial for both me and you. And thank you again very much. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.